what's going on? Your host, LovelyCheesePizza here. The time has come. The Legend Cup finale is the one thing standing between us and glory until they give me like a secret thing to do, I'm sure. So that is what we're going to be doing today. It is not the final episode of this series because even if it is the last set of races in this set of stuff, there's still all of the special event things left to go. If you're wondering why I have lost such a significant amount of money between last episode and now, it is because I have gone off to the garage and I have purchased a brand new car. I decided, because of the fact that this car is not the fastest one out of the lot, if we're going to be going through the last set of races in potentially this mode of the game, we're going out in style with the McHandful P16, which is definitely the fastest car in the game, and it cost me a whopping $500,000 to deck this thing out, including the paint job, of course. So it's looking pretty good with our bling wheels and white supremacy paint job. I am not a white supremacist, I promise. So here we go. We're gonna go through this thing in style, and it's gonna be totally awesome. Unless it isn't. So we'll see what the world has for us in this situation. I hope that it's good. Something tells me this is going to be unreasonably hard for no reason. I don't know why that is. This game has been more or less fair this whole time, but I would not be surprised in the least if, for virtually no reason at all, this became absolutely incredibly hard out of nowhere. So we'll see. We will see. So, okay, I have some stuff to mention. And a couple of them I will leave out for another like Sports Sunday episode or something, because it doesn't really belong here, I suppose. But have you guys ever had one of those moments where you have like a totally unexpected moment of like pure badassery in a situation you never thought you'd have it, and it ended up being totally awesome? I definitely had one of those moments last night, and it was in the weirdest place ever to have it. I was going to get food on my way home last night from being at my friend Colby's house. We had our fantasy football draft, and it was awesome, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. But I was like, while I was there, I was just like super hungry the whole time, and I just didn't really know where I was going to get food at. I spent like a solid 2 hours trying to go through the mental maze in my head on that. And as soon as I was going home, it finally hit me. I was like, man, getting a bacon burrito from Iberto's sounds so good right now. So I stop over there, and let me tell you something about 24-hour Mexican restaurant places. If there were to be any place, any fast food joint that would present potentially the most danger to your health, and I don't mean because of the food, I mean because of the people that are generally there, I feel like 24-hour Mexican restaurant spots are like number one on the list, and I don't know why that is. I don't know why they attract like the most seedy people. It is a strange phenomenon if there ever was one, because like you could go to 24-hour McDonald's joints and you'll find maybe one every once in a while, or you're definitely not gonna find them at an all-night Subway. I can tell you that. You're not really going to find them in an all-night Taco Bell because those pretty much don't even exist in the world, outside of a couple of them that are like gas stations. But for some reason, at 24-hour Mexican spots, those are the ones that have like extra seedy people in there a fairly consistent amount of the time. And maybe part of it was just because of like the neighborhood that this place was in. I mean, Lancaster isn't exactly the Hollywood Hills of places in Salem to be, and so maybe that has something to do with it. But I pull up to this place last night. And I walk inside because I hate going through the drive-thru there because they never get the salsas that I want correctly when I ask them about it. So I go in there, and as soon as I walk in, there were probably 10 or 11 people in there of varying age ranges between like 15 to 16 all the way up to about 30 to 35. Like that was the age range of people. And some of them looked like pretty normal human beings, and a number of them looked like pretty gangstery, like I got a freaking tattoo of Frederick on my arm in Old English and teardrops from the eyes, and I look like if I were to look at you the wrong way, and he'd walk up to me and be like, "Do I make you uncomfortable?" And you're like, "No," because I could totally make you more uncomfortable, and then he like walks up behind you and snaps your neck and then like totally prison shivs you in the kidney and then cuts your head off with that. and then it uses your own blood as some sort of crazy adhesive to mount your head above his refrigerator at home. Like, that's, you know, like the guys that have already spent their 10 years in prison, and, you know, they're at a point where they're not even afraid of it anymore, and so, you know, they'll do pretty much anything. They're like, I've already served my 10, you come and take me back there, type of crazy confidence in that. But yeah, so those are the type of people in there. But I walk in, I'm all decked out in White Sox gear, and as soon as I walk in there, for some reason, like, everybody shot me the look. Every one of them. And, you know, part of it is just because, like, oh, somebody walked in, I wonder what they look like. Like a pretty basic human function. But part of it was they just looked at me, and, like, as soon as they looked at me, like, half of them looked away, and, like, they looked very uncomfortable with me being in there. Like kind of like a fear type of thing. Like they were afraid of me or something. It was so bizarre for virtually no reason at all. Yeah, dude, it was so weird. And it took me a second to process it, but I was like, did those guys just look at me like they were afraid of me? Like, what the hell just happened? Because, like, I'm not particularly a very daunting human being. Like, I'm really tall, and, like, that's one thing, but, and, like, I guess I was kind of in, like, a kind of sort of shitty mood, so I had kind of, like, a little bit of this, if you look at me the wrong way, I'm totally gonna, you know, I'm gonna, like, slam your head into the wall, knock you unconscious, and then back over your head in the parking lot and skid the tires on your face, just blowing your skull all over the pavement, type of thing. But it wasn't, like, a conscious thing that I was doing. I just kind of had, like, that I'm in a bad mood sort of thing, so just whatever. But these dudes looked at me, and they kind of, like, looked away, like, I don't know if I want to mess with this dude right now. So, I was like, I think these dudes just looked at me with a look of fear, and that's kind of strange. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit this guy right now. Damn it. I need to catch up, but I'm not going to. I feel like no matter what I do in this situation, I cannot gain ground on this guy in front of me. Definitely trying my damnedest, though, but it is just not paying off. I'm pretty sure we're probably driving the same car, but my inability to catch up with him is really not helping. But that's alright. So yeah, and so I just, like, and, like, the weird thing is I was being, like, really generous to the people in there, too. Like, I walked up and I just casually ordered my burrito, and I, you know, sauntered over to the salsa bar thing there, and I got my 5 cups of salsa, because God knows you gotta have enough salsa for every bite on that burrito, you know? Don't get me wrong, I love burritos in just, like, their plain form, but I feel like it is at its best when you have a little bit of sauce for every bite. You know, I feel like that's the way that God intended burritos to be. He's like, thou shalt not eat a burrito without proper salsa ratio, you know? But, and then, like, and I kind of looked over just to see if people were still shooting me the look, and these, like, the teenage kids that were there all kind of shot me the look again. And I looked back over at them, and I'm still kind of doing my, my unintentional kind of, like, half scowl looking thing. And they all, like, gave me that weird, they did the weird look, and then they totally, like, retracted it and were, like, all scared of me again. And I'm just like, what the hell is happening right now? Like, why is this a thing that is existing right now? Like, I am by no means a very scary dude. Like, I'm tall, and, you know, if you, like, really piss me off and I go into rage mode, then yeah, that can be pretty scary for people. But other than that, I'm generally a pretty jolly dude. Maybe it's just because I had White Sox gear on. I don't know. Like, that I suppose is for some people one of the chosen you know, baseball team logos for gang members, you know, nationwide. Probably because of the whole Old English text looking thing. I don't know. But that's definitely a thing. And so when I walked out of there. When I walked out of this place, it took a few minutes for it to, like, fully register. I was like, man, that was really weird. But it was kind of awesome at the same time, too. Like, I had dudes that looked like they were straight out of the pen, and they looked at me and, like, kind of cowered in fear. It was so weird, you know? And it's like, I don't think that has ever happened ever in my life, where I've walked into a building and, like, unofficially kind of commanded the building without even saying a word to any of the people that were in there. Everybody just kind of, it was like, I just, like, instantaneously, like, took my spot on the top of the hierarchy, and everybody just they were all like serfs below me or something. It was weird. But I was like, man, that was kind of badass. And then I went home and I ate the burrito, and it was awesome because bacon burritos never let me down. But I will tell you one thing. What happened the next morning was totally not, because the absolute havoc that was just wrecked. It wreaked havoc. That's what I was trying to say. I'm trying to say that the other way did not work out. The absolute amount of havoc that thing set upon my life was just terrible. And I think part of that was because I ate that thing at 2 in the morning. That in and of itself was a terrible choice. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I did. And I had to make a choice, because I was going to be a little bit... I was cutting it close on being late to work. And I had to make a decision, because I was like, you know what? Either I need to take a shit right now before I go to work, or I need to tough this thing out for the 20 to 25 minute drive that it takes me to go up the freeway to get to work, and do it there. And so I was like, you know what? I think I can make it. And within 5 minutes of me leaving my house to get on the road to go up there, it just immediately hit me like a brick in a purse. Like, it was crazy. Like, the best way that I can equate it outside of the brick in the purse thing was that it was like being in an elevator on like the 9th floor, and you're heading down to the 1st floor so that you can leave to go to the casino, because I'm assuming that we're in Vegas now for some reason. And all of a sudden, the cable snaps, and you are in full free fall mode, going towards the basement to get a towel bin, and then just the impact of you hitting the ground and not killing you, obviously, because that totally would. And just like the impact of you hitting the floor is like exactly what I felt like at that exact moment. It was so terrible. I was just like, oh! Like, I did almost a Hank Hill blah moment. I almost did the blah type of thing. I was like, oh, dude, this is gonna be really bad. I cannot allow myself to, lose clenching integrity right now, or else I'm gonna have to explain this to the dudes at the dealership how I totally exploded the inside of their car that they're still trying to sell, by the way. And I just loaded it up with human stool samples. And now they're gonna have to shampoo that thing like 86 times to restore it to okay, like selling worthy condition. Because it was bad. I got lucky enough to not shit myself everywhere, but it was close. Like, I got to work and I had to like almost pull a move where I just ruined the button on my cargo shorts. But I was able to make it. But oh, dude, if I would have had an audio recording of the sheer pain and agony that whole thing provided, it would have been astonishing and probably like gut-busting laugh-worthy to some people, because I know there are people that love reveling in my pain. Oh! I saw him land kind of awkward and go sideways. I thought we had a chance to steal that one. But we're actually commanding the leaderboards right now. This is looking pretty good. I don't know what's been going on in the areas behind me, but it has not been a very even thing. Yeah, we're up by 20. There is virtually no way that we can lose this thing unless the most catastrophic thing happens at the end. So this makes me feel pretty good. I can at least be calm in the fact that things are good. By the way, there is one thing about this game, and it might be very nitpicky, but I think it's potentially one of the only things I can think of that would be a gripe for this game, and it's definitely kind of a stretch. But this is a game that I have noticed only in a very limited amount of times, but it is something that I have noticed nonetheless. That this game, it's only one flaw that I can pull, is that in a situation where there's a card that's like way ahead in first, like kind of what's developing right now, this game does not necessarily the best job at giving you an opportunity to even out the playing field. And part of it's just like the weapon selection itself. But for the most part, this game does a lot of things great. But think about, for instance, think about like Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing. Think about what those games do when you have somebody that's way in the lead. They give you ample opportunities to even the playing field, primarily with the weapons that they allow you to have. Mainly with, like, say, the Aku Aku or the Uka Uka mask in CTR, or the blue turtle shell, or the red ones in Mario Kart, or the star. Just something that gives you something really fairly significant to even out the playing field. This game, however, does not allow you to do that. And what's weirder is, like, I have the fastest car in this game right now, or at least I'm assuming that I do. For a car to be able to, like, consistently be able to pull away from me, despite the fact that we are driving the same exact vehicle and I'm not making mistakes, how they do that is really strange to me. Like, it's almost like a Top Gear kind of thing, where, like, they almost make certain races nearly unable for you to win. Even though I am actually doing it right now, but I think part of that was because a guy in the very beginning kind of got himself into a weird situation. But, yeah, this game, it does kind of a weird job at giving you opportunities to even the playing field, in the sense that it doesn't. That's, like, the only gripe I have. Because if you have the fastest car in the game, there should not be instances where there are cars that are just completely obliterating you and, like, constantly spacing themselves away, even though you're driving either the same car or a car that you are faster than them with. But other than that, it's really not even a big deal. Because we ended up winning the thing anyways, but that was one thing I noticed in a couple of different races a while back. Look at that, 69! That's the second time today that I have played a game and my end score was 69. The Sports Sunday episode I did earlier with NBA Hang Time, we ended the game, or my player ended the game with 69 points. So that's really funny that we'd have that twice in a row. Yeehaw. Alright, well, look at this. Look at this. Taking our rightful place. Gumball awaits you? What the hell is that? Ermagerd, Midas in the house. Yeah, look at that gold, baby. And the Dominator. Look at that. 3 trophies all in one. That's sick. Alright. So what's this whole thing about Gumball? Hold on, I gotta know. I gotta know what's going on here. Okay. So, obviously it's not there. Is it... Huh. I'm intrigued. What's the DLC? Is that the Gumball they're speaking of? Can't be. Or maybe it is. Who's to know? Nope. Okay. Actually, I wonder if it's like a special car, by chance. No. Hold on. It's definitely not in there. It's definitely not in there. Huh. Interesting. So I wonder... It's definitely one for each thing in here. Huh. I'm confused. Well, what do you do? Okay, so we'll find out what that is at some point, I suppose. I just don't know when exactly that's going to be. Holy crap, we got a lot of money for winning that thing. Oh, jeez. We got like $500,000 for winning that competition. That's insane. That's like literally the amount of money that I had before starting this episode and buying this car and souping it up. That is crazy. I'm really happy about it, though. Okay, well, that's pretty awesome. So, I guess we're going to call it good right here for now. But when we come back on the next episode of Let's Play Tabletop Racing World Tour, we have special events to do. And there's a nice little, chunk of them for each thing, which they all are specific on what car they allow you to do it with. So we're actually going to have to go in and pretty much buy every car in the game. And I'm totally down to do that. So, oh god, saliva. Pass. So when we come back, we're going to start up with Cult Classics, going right back down to the bottom of the totem pole again. So until then, my friends, this is your host, Lovely Cheese Pizza, saying thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.